Feelings like as a player, Todd, but that was 17 years ago, the last time you experienced it. What's this feeling like?
Thanks for reminding me that it's 17 years ago. Look, just so happy for the players more than anything. You know, like as you said, I've been able to experience as a player, so I know how special it is. And you know, we've got some boys here that have been here the whole 6 years with me, and you know, that's just showed amazing resilience. You know, not everything's gone well for us or worked out perfectly for us while we've been here. So. But they keep fronting up and digging in and keep trying to do the right thing, and just so happy for them. You know, it was a pretty good game, and you know, I thought both teams had periods where they looked like they were really in control of the game, and tricky breeze kicking into the breeze, and we sort of probably missed a couple of opportunities. They probably feel like they did too, but yeah, you know, once it gets to that last 15 minutes, it's not much you can do. It's sort of hope that all the things that you've practiced and trained for work out. So, but just over the moon for them.
It was such a desperate last quarter with both teams throwing everything at it, but in the end it was your two big forwards who weren't kicking great all day, but when it mattered most, both Mason and Jimmy kicked the goals that mattered.
Yeah, and Zach Strom, to be honest, as well. You know, like I thought our three big boys, Zach, Jimmy especially playing high, you know, they were able to take contested marks, clutch marks at times and kick goals. And then, you know, Mason's copped a bit of flack the last 3 weeks about, he hasn't kicked goals and he hasn't done this. But, you know, those within the four walls, like he has improved enormously this year in his ability to compete and halve contests and keep balls alive when it hasn't been on his terms, and he did exactly the same again today. And then, you know, when he got his chance, he's a pretty good kick. So I was just really pleased for him. You know, I'm really pleased for all of them, to be honest. And you know, been a long build, 3 prelims, 2 grand finals to finally win one. Just wrapped for him.
You touched on Zach Strom, and we've talked about him a bit this year. He's taken the next step. In terms of his versatility, and now he can play in so many roles and play so great anywhere. He must have been very close to best on ground today, I thought.
Oh, mate, I think he's had an outstanding year. You know, to have a guy of his size, to have his speed and endurance, to be able to play as a wingman, half forward, key forward, ruckman, can play back if you need. He's just such a selfless person and works so hard, and just a great person. So really happy for him. Comes from a great family, and you know, how fantastic playing a premiership with your brother.
What about Brock Higgins? I mean, he had another enormous game. He's had an enormous 5 years or whatever it is since he's been carrying that ruck load as an undersized ruckman. He doesn't have a lot of natural gifts, but he's the greatest hard worker out on the field every time he plays.
Yeah, he might not be that big, but geez, his heart's big. You know, like you know, he just refused to give in. Gave us first use, shuffled it forward. You know, he missed a bit of footy when he did his hamstring. Probably missed three games, and you know, there's no doubt probably losing the second semi has probably helped him. He probably needed a bit more footy. You know, he plays at his best when he's done a bit of work, but his heart's just enormous. So just really pleased for him. You know, he's worked so hard, changed clubs to get opportunity, as you say. You know, led the ruck and for a long time. I think it certainly helped him this year having a bit more support. We had Strommy, obviously Jimmy that could ruck as well. But yeah, he was pretty good for us today.
What about the performance of the midfield without your best ball winner all season to take it up to a really star-studded midfield and at least hold their own, if not get the better of that area of the game?
I think they were really disappointed after the second semi. You know, we'd done so much work, and to full credit to them with the COVID shutdown, our boys just continued to work in their own time, and you know, they've been a real strength for us. And you know, the data that we got from that second semi, they just didn't run and didn't work. I think that's what stung them the most. You know, there's a lot of talk about Claremont and what they did to us in the second semi, but internally they're a really good team, and they've had a really good year. But you know, we've been a good team for a long time. We've got a pretty good record. I think that's 5 of the last 6 and maybe 10 of the last 13. So we were really bad, really poor in the second semi. They were really, really good. So, but yeah, to lose Jake with 10 minutes to go last week was a big challenge. He's been our best mid for a while. Yeah, it was a big challenge for them, but I thought they really stood up, and to see Jake walk into the room a little while ago to celebrate, and he couldn't come to the game, just too close to his surgery. But he got here for the celebration.
Now that the game's done with, what do you feel like this will mean to the footy club to have had the game on your home ground, have more than 10,000 people here? I don't know if you've experienced a better atmosphere than that in your whole footy career, and you've played in 80, 90,000 people at the MCG. I mean, now that you've won this game and you've been through the experience, what's it going to mean to everyone involved?
To be honest, I think having the game here is probably bigger for the community, the city of Fremantle, the entire community. It's been a tough year for everyone, businesses, whatever. I think that's probably the biggest thing. For us, footy department, coaches, players, we don't really care where we play, because we felt that it would, with our supporters, we think it'd be a South Fremantle house, whether it's here, Leederville, wherever. Certainly fantastic at your home ground. It's probably a one-off. It'll never happen again for us. It's fantastic, but for our footy club, to have 2,138 financial members in a season where a lot of those people had signed before there was any guarantee there was going to be any games, it's just outstanding. So I'm really happy for the volunteers, supporters that do, admin staff that do hours, assistant coaches, players that aren't here today but have been here in the last 5 or 6 years. They've all had a part of it. To walk in and see some of those faces return, that's why you play. So I'm just more happy for the players because I know what's ahead of them.
I know you don't like to talk about yourself and making it about yourself, but it's a remarkable journey for you now as a coach as well, and it's scary to think that I remember coming to see you pretty much the first day you got the job at West Perth. Then I spoke to you the first day you get the job here at South Fremantle as well, and pretty much every game the last 6 years we've done this as well. It's been a remarkable journey to share with you, and there's been those horrible preliminary finals that you've had to go through. There was the grand final of last year. I mean, what does this mean to you?
Steve Wasley is with me today. He was at West Perth in 2006. It's been a long journey with us as well, but it's a reward for everything you do. It's a reward for your family that time you're not with them. But it's more about the players, because I know how much I love the blokes I played in premierships with, how much I love spending time with those guys. So now these blokes get to share that, and when we go to reunions now, it's 25 years since I played in 95. John Dimmer comes along and we love having him there. So hopefully in 25 years, these blokes will love having me coming along as well. And but the off-field, board, admin, we've had some tough losses along the way, but whether it's players, footy club, it showed enormous resilience to just keep buttering up and going again. They never sulked. They just got back on the job and worked hard, and I'm just over the moon for them.
You mentioned on stage you dedicated this to your mum. You've got your wife and your kids here as well. Unfortunately, your brother can't be here because he's stuck in Sydney and he just can't get back home. But what does it mean to your family to share this with you?
Well, they ride the highs and the lows with you as much as you do. You come home probably grumpy, and you spend time away and all that stuff. So I just spoke to Ad on the phone. We watched it in Sydney, and mum and dad have been along this journey from, whenever you start as a player. So they know how much you're invested, and so are the players. Everyone's invested. That's why it's a great place to be. I guess that's why I keep coming back. Yeah. It's a great place. I love being here, and it's going to be a good week.
When you go into the rooms with the players and you all share that moment together as a player and coaching group, what's the best part about that for you? What will you always remember about that moment?
It's funny. I just said to Blaine Wilson, he looked up to me. He said, "Now I know why we're doing this. I know why this is." And I said, "Mate, you'll forget. You'll remember that little one beer you had with the 22 and the coaches and the pizza and mucking around. You'll remember that for the rest of your life." So, that's the special times, because there'll be times tonight where we get dragged apart and all that, but you'll always have that one beer, and then we'll spend time together over the next few days. But we'd love everyone to play, but not everyone does, so it's a good chance to just get the group with that group.
Go and enjoy it.
I will. Thank you, mate. I appreciate it.
Thanks, mate.